So I'm so happy to have this opportunity to be here in Philadelphia, my hometown. I now live in Manhattan, but you can't ever take Philadelphia out of a Philly girl. So I'm really thrilled to be here, visiting my family. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
You'll have no trouble hearing this Ibex horn, which I understand is still kosher to sound a non-ram's horn for Rosh Hashanah. And I've been sounding the shofar, a desire that I sublimated in 4th grade when I took up the French horn. I did not tell people that my true wish was to be a shofar sounder. I tucked that away, but became a fairly proficient French horn player starting in 4th grade, and I became the first girl French horn player in the Lower Merion School District, and later, about 12 years ago, became the first female bailat tekiyah at the Huntington Jewish Center when I lived on Long Island in my 100-year-old congregation, the Huntington Jewish Center, which was a tremendous honor. It was a little scary to take on that role, as it was in 4th grade to be the first female French horn player, but it's important to try new things. And in that experience, aside from the huge honor of sounding shofar for the holidays, I found it quite moving to visit people who were hospitalized, who were bedridden, who couldn't get out to hear the sound of the shofar, which is so associated with Rosh Hashanah. And I discovered that it's the tradition during the month of Elul, which we're now in the days preceding the Jewish New Year, of course, being Rosh Hashanah, but the entire month of Elul. Please join us. It'll just be a moment. Preceding the holiday, preceding the days of awe, that we have an entire month to prepare spiritually for the work of the days of awe, for the work of the high holidays. That the shofar is actually a spiritual alarm clock with no snooze button. You're not going to be able to push a snooze button and go back to sleep when you hear this sound. That we start to think about preparation for the holidays, and that the sound of the shofar is heard every morning in minyanim, in the morning minyan, to start thinking about the work of tshuva, of repairing the world, of thinking about ourselves, and thinking about the things that we did wrong, so that we stand there for Yom Kippur, we think about what we could improve. But I also like to think about the other side, about things we did right. Maybe can be a little bit more gentle with ourselves about the things that we did right as well, both sides of the coin. And the shofar, like the matzah at Pesach, there's a double symbolism to the matzah. It's a symbol of freedom as well as slavery. The sounds of the shofar also, I think, have a double symbolism. There's the deep kind of wailing sound that we hear that's somewhat painful and poignant, but there's also this kind of jubilation, the kind of the sound of proclamation, the sound of the king announcing the heralding of the king is one, the God is one, announcing the coronation of God is one. We think of Cecil B. DeMille, we think of the tablets, we think of Mount Sinai, we also think of sacrifice. We think of the sacrificial lamb, we think about, God forbid, sacrificing our firstborn. Symbolically, we might want to think at this time of year about other ways that we can sacrifice for our communities, for our families. There are many ways of thinking about things when we hear this sound. I'm an artist, so I would never ask anyone to look at a painting and say, here's how you should think about this sound. So I'm only talking about ways that traditionally we think about the sound of the shofar. Interestingly, the command to sound the shofar is not really specified in terms of detail, other than the blessings to hear it. In other words, it's a mitzvah that's accompanied by blessings. The mitzvah is in the listener. It's a mitzvah to hear it. It's not a mitzvah for me to sound it, but it's a mitzvah for you to hear it. So I'm here with this invitation for you to hear it, and I hope that the sounds that you're about to hear resonate within you, and that next week when we start the new year, that it is filled with peace. We're unfortunately looking at a shaky situation with Israel, but I do hope that there is an optimism within us, and this resonates with you for a peaceful new year and a healthy new year, and that the sounds that I'm about to sound for you, the traditional sounds, which I'll sound in the order that I do in the minyan every year, which are in a specific combination for Rosh Hashanah. I'll do them now in the traditional morning order that I do every morning minyan for you. That these sounds resonate in whatever private way is meaningful to you, and that you have a peaceful and happy and healthy new year.
Thank you. And you as well.
Thank you.
Selma, that was wonderful.
My goodness, that was really incredible. I've never heard that
I hope
She's got a wonderful pair of lungs. I said she has a wonderful pair of lungs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's wonderful.